Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I talk about the NWSL, women's soccer, just soccer, only soccer. We have another U.S. women's national team roster drop today, March 28th, for the April friendlies against the Republic of Ireland. The U.S. women's national team will be playing Ireland in two friendlies. The first one is going to be on Saturday, April 8th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the second one will be Tuesday, April 11th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I figured the roster was going to drop soon because England announced they were also going to be releasing their roster for their international friendlies. Anyway, when it comes to this roster in particular, I'm not really expecting that many big changes from the January camp roster and the She Believes Cup roster. The reason why is because the NWSL season has just kicked off last weekend, March 25th and 26th. Before, we would have the NWSL Challenge Cup, which would be a preseason tournament where we would get our first look at the teams and players before the actual NWSL season. Now, the NWSL season and Challenge Cup have been set up a little differently this year. Instead of the Challenge Cup being a preseason tournament, it's going to be happening during the NWSL season. This is to prevent preseason injuries. Because of that, we haven't really gotten to see the teams and players in action all that much. I can imagine Vlatko is going to be sticking with the players he selected for the January camp and the She Believes Cup. Maybe once the NWSL season picks up, once players start getting readjusted to their club teams, we could start to see small changes and adjustments made to the US roster in the near future. But for now, let's get into the April roster. All right, so starting with the goalkeepers. I knew this before the roster came out, but for goalkeepers, Adie Franch, Casey Murphy, and Alyssa Nair. Good, no arguments or issues there. Now, moving on to defenders. For defenders, we have quite a few. Alana Cook, Tierna Davidson, Crystal Dunn, Emily Fox, Naomi Girma, Sofia Huerta, Casey Kruger, Kelly O'Hara, Becky Sauerbrunn, and Emily Sonnet. I think I got them all. Where do I start? This is a great mix. We have veteran defenders and somewhat newer defenders. I don't think it's fair to call Cook, Fox, Girma, and Huerta new because they have been on the national team for a while now. They've also won some trophies too. Anyway, I like this. Tierna Davidson is back from injury. Kelly O'Hara is back from injury. Casey Kruger is back from pregnancy and maternity. I'm really looking forward to seeing Davidson and Kruger especially. I always liked that defender pairing and thought Davidson and Kruger connected well together in the back line. It may need some touching up, but they should be all right. I would like to see what would happen if Davidson or Kruger were paired with Girma or Fox. That would be very interesting because Girma and Fox are both aggressive and confident defenders. And I don't know. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I want to see that eventually. Girma or Fox with Davidson and Kruger. I even think if Cook was paired with Davidson or Kruger, it will help her develop her confidence in the back line a little more. Although I thought Cook did pretty well in the She Believes Cup. Then there's Huerta. So Huerta and Fox, for that matter, like to press in the attack, and I think with Davidson and Kruger, they'll be able to do more of that. But they will also have that support when it's time to defend and protect the goal. There are so many things we can do with these defenders, so many combinations to try and test out. Of course, there's Dunn, O'Hara, Sauerbrunn, and Sonnet, who also provide great experience in the backline and defense as well. Anyway, let's move on to the midfield. For midfielders, we have Julie Ertz, Lindsay Horan, Taylor Korniak, Rose Lavelle, Christy Mewis, Ashley Sanchez, and Andy Salvin. Julie Ertz is back. Bro, where have you been? Honestly, I don't think anyone saw this coming. I don't think anyone expected this. From what I had to look up and the news that also came out today about Ertz, Ertz is apparently a free agent right now. Her rights were held by Angel City, and I think they traded her for $70,000 in allocation money. I'm not entirely sure about that though. This just came out and there's still news unfolding. I'm also not sure where or if she's playing for a club currently, but according to Meg Linehan, Vlatko said Ertz has been training with MLS Academy players and was cleared by her doctor. This is great, of course, but the question a lot of you may have right now is, can Ertz still play and compete at the national team level? She's been out for a while due to injury and also had a baby as well. We'll have our answer in these upcoming friendlies. I'm hopeful though. I would like to think Ertz is ready to go and we no longer have to keep asking and wondering who's going to be our 6 in case something happens to Andy. Also want to add, since I'm on the topic of 6, Laura Harvey of OL Reign has been experimenting with Emily Sonnett playing as a 6 or defensive midfielder. She's been doing that throughout preseason training, and Sonnett did get to play as a 6 in the Reign's first match against the Spirit. Honestly, Sonnett's not bad. She looks promising in that position, but she may need to work on it more and clean it up. So just another potential player to fill that 6th position. We have options now. There's also Jalen Howell and Sam Coffey, who are actual defensive midfielders. But for now, let's look at the rest of the midfielders. Andy Sullivan might actually get a break in these friendlies now that we have Ertz. Before, Vlatko was playing Andy in every match, but hopefully with Ertz, Vlatko can use them interchangeably as a way to prevent potential injuries. He should do that. The last thing we need to do is injure Andy and re-injure Ertz. Then there's Horan, Mewis, Korniak, Lavelle, and Sanchez. Good selection of attacking midfielders. I would like to see Mewis and Sanchez get to start more over Horan. As for Korniak, Vlatko said during the She Believes Cup that he wanted Korniak to play as a 6, but didn't play her in that position during the entire tournament. I'm not sure if he scrapped that idea, especially when Casey Stoney, the San Diego Wave coach, said Korniak playing as a 6 would be a disservice to her. I would like to see Korniak getting involved in the attack a lot more. She has a great height advantage, and if we can get her on the end of headers during corner kicks and services, that would be great for us. Huerta usually has great and accurate services into the box. If Korniak can get on the end of those, it would be amazing. I mentioned it before on my channel, but I would try to experiment with Korniak playing as a forward or striker, preferably a striker. That would be more in line with her skills rather than trying to get her to play as a defensive midfielder. Also want to add, Kat Macario is still rehabbing and recovering from her ACL injury, but Vlatko said she is a little more ahead than Kristen Press. He added, in order for them to play in the World Cup or be selected for the World Cup, they have to be able to have significant minutes in a professional environment. Fair enough. Hopefully, Kat will be able to come back and grab some minutes with Lyon. Besides that, good selection of midfielders. Now, on to the forwards. For forwards, we have Ashley Hatch, Alex Morgan, Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith, Mal Swanson, or Pew, and Lynn Williams. Sophia Smith is back on the national team roster. She missed out on the January camp and She Believes Cup due to a foot injury over winter break, but she's healed up and ready to go. She scored against the Orlando Pride in the Portland Thorns season opening and was causing a lot of problems for the Pride back line, so I think she's good to go. I would like to see her paired with Trinity Rodman. I do remember Smith and Rodman wanting to work on their attacking chemistry last year, so this will be good for them ahead of the World Cup. Mal is still good. Maybe we can get an attacking combination with Mal, Smith, and Rodman. Those three will definitely overwhelm the Ireland back line. I feel sorry for Louise Quinn, not really, who has to deal with that. As for Hatchy Hatch, I don't know what Vlatko's plans are for her. She definitely needs more playtime, and I would try to play her with Rodman, but maybe also with the other forwards, Mal, Smith, Morgan, and Williams. I don't think she's had enough time to build her attacking chemistry with anyone besides Rodman and Sanchez. When it comes to Alex Morgan, I would like to see Vlatko play Korniak at the same time as Morgan and see what can happen there. He tends to start Morgan and bring Korniak on in the second half. Since Morgan and Korniak are teammates on the San Diego Wave, I would want to take advantage of that attacking chemistry as much as possible and try to build it more. As for Lynn Williams, I wasn't sure if she was going to get called up because she did get injured in the match against Angel City, but it was an arm injury, and she did score a really great goal for Gotham, and even won that match. That was pretty awesome. Overall, when it comes to forwards, I think we're good. Anyway, this is the roster for the 2023 April friendlies. I definitely wasn't expecting this. I thought this was going to be a quick rundown. I thought it was going to be similar to the January camp and She Believes Cup roster. But yeah, I was not expecting this at all. This kind of feels like a January camp roster, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to these friendlies against Ireland. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on the backline and midfield. I already have my eyes set on the defenders. Don't know if you can tell. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.